I still remember the exact moment my heart first cracked open like fragile glass under his words. I was standing in our tiny kitchen, the one with the faded yellow curtains I'd chosen because they reminded me of sunshine and hope. My hands were trembling as I held the birthday cake I'd baked for him from scratch. 3 layers, his favorite chocolate, with "Happy 32nd, my love," written in shaky icing. I'd worked a double shift just to afford the ingredients. He walked in, loosened his tie, and looked at me with that familiar half smile. Not warm, not grateful, just amused. "Wow, babe," he said, leaning against the doorframe. "You really went all out, huh?" "Cute." I smiled, hopeful, waiting for the hug, the kiss, the thank you that never came. Instead, he took a fork, tasted a small piece, and shrugged. "You know, you should really learn to accept less. Life isn't some fairy tale. I'm here, aren't I? That should be enough." He smirked. That smirk. The one that made my stomach twist even back then, and I laughed it off. I always laughed it off. My name is Elena. For 8 years, I loved a man named Marcus with everything I had. I was the girl who believed love meant sacrifice. I gave up my dreams of opening a small bakery because he said it was too risky. I stopped wearing the bright colors I loved because he said they made me look desperate for attention. I even distanced myself from my best friend Sarah because Marcus said she was too negative about our relationship. I accepted less. Every single day. We lived in a modest apartment in the city. I worked as a receptionist at a dental clinic while he chased big opportunities in sales. His big opportunities usually meant late nights, mysterious expenses, and me covering the rent when his commission checks didn't come. But I told myself it was temporary. I told myself real love was patient. Friends would gently ask, "Elena, are you happy?" I'd smile and say, "Of course. Marcus is a good man. He's just stressed." But deep down, something was dying inside me. One rainy evening, I found a receipt in his jacket pocket. A lingerie store. Expensive, not my size. When I asked him about it, he rolled his eyes. "God, Elena, you're so insecure. It was for my sister's birthday. Why do you always have to make everything about you? Just accept that not every man is perfect. You should be grateful I put up with your constant doubts." And again, that smirk. I cried myself to sleep that night, but I stayed. I stayed because I believed I wasn't enough. That maybe this was the best someone like me could get. But what I didn't know was that the real storm was just beginning. Pause. Soft emotional music swells. It was our anniversary. I had planned a special dinner. Candles, his favorite wine. I even bought a new dress red, the color he once said made me look too much. But that night I wanted to feel beautiful. He came home late, again. I greeted him with a smile, but his face was cold. He barely looked at me. "Elena, we need to talk." My heart dropped. He sat down, didn't even take off his shoes, and said the words that shattered everything. "I think we should see other people. You're a good girl, but honestly, you deserve someone simpler. Someone who can match your level. I need more. I've been talking to someone who actually inspires me. She's ambitious, driven. You should accept that this is for the best." He smirked again. That same damn smirk. I stood there in my red dress, candles flickering behind me, and felt the floor disappear beneath my feet. But that was only the beginning of the betrayal. The next few weeks were hell. I discovered that the someone he'd been talking to was my own cousin, Lila, the one who used to come over for family dinners, the one I had trusted with my insecurities about our relationship. Messages, photos, hotel bookings, voice notes where he laughed about how I was so easy to manage and how I never questioned anything. In one recording, he told her, "Elena's the type who will stay no matter what. She accepts less. That's why she's perfect for now." I threw up when I read them. Sarah, my best friend I had pushed away, found me on my bathroom floor, surrounded by screenshots. She didn't say, "I told you so." She just held me while I sobbed until my voice broke. "Elena," she whispered, "you don't have to accept this. Not anymore." The pain was unbearable. Nights blurred into days. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Every corner of our apartment held memories that now felt like knives. The worst part? He moved out, but kept coming back for his things, each time with new clothes, new cologne, and that smug look like he'd won some prize. One day he even had the nerve to say, "See? You're doing fine without me. I knew you could accept less." I wanted to scream. I wanted to disappear. But something inside me, small at first, started to burn instead of break. Sarah refused to let me fall apart alone. She moved in temporarily. Together, we started digging. What began as heartbreak slowly turned into quiet fury. We discovered Marcus had been siphoning money from our joint account for months. Small amounts at first, then bigger. He'd also been using my credit card for dates with Lila, thousands of dollars. And the worst, he had convinced my elderly aunt to invest in one of his sure-thing business schemes. She lost her savings. He didn't just betray me. He betrayed my entire world. I remember sitting on the balcony one night, staring at the city lights, tears streaming down my face. "Why wasn't I enough?" I whispered. Sarah sat beside me. "You were more than enough. He was just too small to see it." That night, we made a decision. No more, accepting less. We reached out to other women who had crossed paths with Marcus' ex-colleagues, another ex-girlfriend, even a former business partner he'd screwed over. The stories poured in. Lies. Manipulation. Financial ruin. One woman had lost her home because of him. We didn't want chaos. We wanted justice. Cold, undeniable, and public. Emotional music transition building tension. The plan took months to execute, but every piece fell perfectly into place. We gathered ironclad evidence, bank statements, recorded conversations, legal ones, messages, and testimonials. Sarah's cousin, a sharp journalist, helped us prepare everything. We created a detailed, professional report. Then came the day of his big presentation. Marcus had been pitching a major investor for his new startup, the one he bragged would make him untouchable. The venue was fancy, suits, champagne, influencers. Lila was there on his arm, wearing the kind of dress I could never afford. I walked in quietly at the back, heart pounding, wearing the red dress I'd bought for our last anniversary. This time it didn't feel like too much. It felt like armor. The lights dimmed for his presentation. He stepped on stage, confident, smirking at the crowd, like he owned the room. But the projector didn't show his slides. It showed the evidence. Every screenshot, every transaction, every heartbreaking message where he mocked the women he'd used. My face wasn't hidden. My pain was there for everyone to see. The room went dead silent. Then the whispers started. Phones came out. Investors shifted uncomfortably. Lila's face turned ghostly white as messages between her and Marcus flashed on the massive screen, including the ones where they laughed about poor, naive Elena. Marcus froze. His smirk vanished. For the first time in years, he looked small. I stepped forward slowly. The spotlight found me. "You told me to accept less, Marcus." My voice rang clear through the microphone Sarah had arranged. "But I've learned I deserve more, and so does everyone you hurt." He tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. His mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. Speechless. Security escorted him out as investors walked away. The startup collapsed before it even began. Word spread fast in our industry. Doors that were once open for him slammed shut. Lila left him that same week. Months later, I heard he was working a basic desk job, struggling to make rent. No more smirks. No more big talks. Just silence. I opened my bakery 6 months after that night. More than enough bakery. The first day, Sarah and I stood outside as people lined up. I wore red again. this time with a smile that reached my eyes. Soft, hopeful music. I won't lie, the pain still visits sometimes, but it doesn't stay. Because I finally learned the most important lesson. Never accept less than you deserve. Not in love, not in respect, not in life. The right people will never make you shrink yourself to fit their ego. And when someone tells you to accept less, believe them. Then rise higher than they could ever imagine. To anyone listening who's been told they're too much or not enough, this is your sign. You are worthy of more. Take your power back. The revenge isn't in destroying them. It's in becoming the woman they could never break. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, choose yourself. Always.